Welcome back to Dinar Daily Buzz. A new chapter has begun for Vietnamese Dong VND holders worldwide, and many individuals who have followed the development of international currencies are paying close attention to recent announcements. Financial authorities and regulatory bodies, both domestic and international, have introduced what appears to be a clearer and more structured set of exchange guidelines designed to bring consistency, stability and transparency to the process of handling foreign banknotes. These guidelines are not presented as hype or speculative predictions. Rather, they represent a step toward formalizing procedures that were previously inconsistent or poorly understood by the general public. For years, people have requested clarity on how currencies like the VND are to be exchanged, authenticated and processed. This newest update reflects a broader effort to provide that clarity. It signals that the environment surrounding foreign currency exchanges is maturing, adopting better operational standards and aligning with global compliance practices. Instead of relying on rumor or informal discussions, holders can look toward an evolving system that emphasizes professionalism and legitimacy. If you hold Vietnamese Dong or simply follow international currency movements, this development serves as a reminder to stay aware, educate yourself, and remain prepared for procedural changes that may affect how foreign notes are handled globally. This shift toward transparency and professionalism is especially meaningful because the global currency community has long expressed frustration about inconsistent information and unclear processes. For years, individuals who held various foreign currencies, whether for travel, collection or investment diversification, often encountered conflicting advice, vague exchange rules or misinformation circulating through unofficial channels. The introduction of clearer procedures demonstrates a conscious move away from that uncertainty. These new guidelines emphasize essential aspects such as verifying legitimate ownership of currency, which helps prevent fraud, counterfeiting and other illicit activities. They also clarify that many institutions are moving toward appointment-based exchanges, ensuring that each transaction is handled carefully and securely rather than through rushed or improvised interactions. Additionally, the renewed focus on strict compliance with anti-fraud and anti-money laundering laws reflects a global trend toward reinforcing financial integrity. Transparent communication of exchange procedures and officially recognized values ensures that all participants are operating with the same information, reducing confusion and speculation. These features, verification, appointments, compliance and clarity, form the foundation of a modern financial ecosystem that prioritizes both participants' safety and institutional accountability. By adopting these principles, the currency exchange environment becomes fairer, more consistent and more trustworthy, ultimately benefiting the individuals and institutions involved. These guidelines matter because when a currency enters a more structured and professionally regulated exchange environment, confidence among the public tends to increase significantly. People feel more secure when they know that established protocols exist and that they are based on documented procedure rather than rumor or informal claims. A carefully organized process reduces confusion and provides a straightforward path for individuals who need to authenticate, exchange or manage their foreign banknotes responsibly. Investors and ordinary currency holders alike benefit from knowing that the systems in place aim to ensure fairness and compliance, minimizing the risk of errors or fraudulent activity. By emphasizing proper documentation, regulated transaction pathways and institutional oversight, these guidelines help protect every individual who interacts with the currency. People can expect exchanges to take place in secure environments that follow established legal and financial standards. Reducing exposure to scams or misinformation rates, rules and procedural steps are communicated more clearly, setting realistic expectations for all participants. Authenticity checks ensure that legitimate ownership is recognized and that counterfeit notes are identified and removed from circulation. For many individuals who have waited for a structured framework, this shift provides reassurance that the process is evolving responsibly and with long-term stability in mind. The modernized exchange model reflects a deliberate effort to bring order, clarity and professionalism to a process that for many years was clouded by inconsistent information and unclear expectations. While specific procedures may vary depending on regional banking rules or the regulatory practices of different countries, the overall structure being adopted worldwide follows a standardized and disciplined path designed to ensure both safety and transparency. The first stage involves registration and verification a crucial step that helps confirm that the individual participating in the exchange is the legitimate owner of the currency in question. This is where holders may need to provide identification documents, receipts, purchase confirmations, or other forms of proof demonstrating when and how the currency was acquired. These verification requirements are not meant to be obstacles. They are safeguards that protect both the individual and the financial institution by ensuring that every transaction is legitimate and compliant with established laws. By establishing ownership and validating identity at the outset, institutions reduce the potential for fraud, counterfeiting, or disputes, thereby creating a more secure environment for all participants as the exchange proceeds through the remaining stages. Once identity and ownership are established, the process moves toward appointment scheduling, which represents one of the most significant improvements compared to older walk-in systems. Instead of chaotic or unpredictable environments where long lines and inconsistencies were common, appointments create an organized and controlled flow of activity. This approach helps protect both staff and customers by reducing unnecessary crowding and ensuring that each transaction receives the attention and precision it requires. During a scheduled appointment, staff have adequate time to verify notes, confirm authenticity, conduct compliance checks, and clarify any questions the holder may have. The structured nature of appointment-based exchanges fosters a more professional atmosphere, creating an experience that resembles other regulated financial services such as bank meetings, loan consultations, or official document signings. This shift reinforces confidence, demonstrating that currency exchanges are treated with the same seriousness and legitimacy as other financial procedures. For individuals who may have been uncertain or hesitant due to past confusion or rumors, the move towards scheduled appointments serves as a powerful reassurance that the process is grounded in order, responsibility, and procedural integrity. After scheduling, the exchange and confirmation phase marks the moment when the physical notes are reviewed, authenticated, and processed according to official policies and recognized exchange values. At the appointment, staff count and verify each note using established procedures, including machine-based authentication and manual inspection standards. The step ensures that every piece of currency being exchanged meets legal criteria and that counterfeit or damaged notes are identified and handled appropriately. Once verification is complete, the exchange is carried out at the officially recognized rate. Importantly, this process includes full documentation giving participants written confirmation that the transaction took place, along with a record of the amount received and the method of transfer. Documented proof of transaction protects both the holder and the institution by creating an official record that can be referenced for tax purposes, financial planning, or regulatory review. This level of documentation is a hallmark of modern financial systems, ensuring consistency, clarity, and accountability for all involved. The final step of the structured model involves the secure transfer of funds, which may include direct deposits into the holder's authorized account or the issuance of certified financial instruments depending on institutional policies and the holder's preference. Each transfer is carefully recorded, creating a traceable path from the moment the currency is presented to the moment the exchange value reaches the individual's account. This meticulous record-keeping shields participants from potential disputes, ensures regulatory compliance, and reinforces the trustworthiness of the entire process. Security measures applied during this stage, including encrypted systems, dual verification, and digital confirmations, are designed to uphold the highest standards of financial integrity by minimizing the possibility of errors or unauthorized access. These safeguards help ensure that the exchange environment remains robust, safe, and reliable. As a result, participants can conduct transactions with confidence, knowing that the system prioritizes precision, transparency, and legal protection at every step. Compliance stands as the anchor that holds the entire exchange framework together, ensuring that every transaction follows established financial laws and regulations. These updated guidelines emphasize that all exchanges must be fully traceable, meaning that from the moment an individual begins the verification process until the final transfer of funds is completed, each step is recorded in a secure and transparent manner. Identity verification is a non-negotiable requirement, helping institutions confirm that exchange exchanges are being conducted responsibly and legally. Automated and manual authenticity checks help ensure that every note is validated, reducing risks related to counterfeiting or unauthorized circulation. The overarching purpose of compliance is not merely to satisfy legal standards but to protect the integrity of both local and global financial systems by ensuring that transactions are monitored, documented and verified. The system guards against illicit activities that could threaten national economies, financial institutions or honest currency holders. Compliance acts as a shield, preventing speculation, manipulation and misinformation from destabilizing the environment for YouTube audiences, financial learners and individuals studying economic systems. This shift marks an important educational moment. It demonstrates how credibility and opportunity grow from environments where rules are respected, processes are transparent, and the stability of the system is placed above the noise of rumor or hype. Vietnam continues to rise as one of Asia's most dynamic and rapidly expanding economies, and its momentum is the direct result of long-term planning, structural reform and strategic modernization. Over the past decade, the country has steadily shifted from a primarily export-driven manufacturing hub into a more versatile, innovation-oriented economy capable of competing on a global scale. This transformation includes strengthening digital infrastructure, improving regulatory frameworks, and opening its markets to foreign investment across technology, logistics, energy, agriculture and finance. A major component of this modernization is the enhancement of financial systems, ensuring that currency management, banking practices and cross-border transaction requirements follow transparent global standards. The newly clarified guidelines for handling currency exchanges are not isolated changes. They tie directly into Vietnam's broader economic vision, one that focuses on building credibility, stability and legal consistency by reinforcing accountability and clarity in matters such as verification, record-keeping and compliance. Vietnam signals that it is committed to operating within internationally accepted norms. This fosters greater confidence among foreign investors, multinational businesses and global financial institutions. When a country strengthens the structure around its currency, it strengthens its reputation, and Vietnam's ongoing reforms highlight its intention to participate more fully in global trade, finance and economic collaboration. These steps demonstrate that Vietnam is not simply modernizing for internal stability but positioning itself as a reliable, forward-looking partner within the global economic community. For individuals who own Vietnamese Dong or who follow international currency developments, the current environment presents an opportunity to prepare thoughtfully and responsibly. Markets evolve, regulations mature and financial systems undergo periodic improvements, meaning that staying organized and informed is more important than ever. A practical first step is to organize all documents related to your currency holdings, including receipts, proof of purchase, identification records and any certificates that confirm when and how your notes were acquired. Maintaining these documents in a secure location helps ensure readiness for any future verification process, especially as institutions around the world continue implementing stricter anti-fraud and compliance standards. Equally important is consuming information from reliable, verified sources rather than relying on rumors, anonymous posts or speculative claims circulated through social media. Financial misinformation spreads easily, and discipline information habits protect you from confusion and unrealistic expectations. Maintaining a patient and professional mindset is also crucial. Economic reforms, regulatory updates and structural shifts take time to roll out fully, and the most trustworthy systems are those built methodically rather than rushed. Finally, holders should consider long-term planning rather than focusing solely on currency exchange. Think about financial education, responsible saving and investment practices, diversification strategies and ways to contribute positively to your community. These actions support personal growth and preparedness regardless of how the broader financial environment develops. A positive signal for the future. The ongoing updates to Vietnam's financial procedures represent a meaningful step toward a more organized and dependable economic structure, and for many observers this signals positive momentum. Rather than engaging in speculation or chasing uncertain outcomes, it is more productive to recognize that these reforms show deliberate progress rooted in regulation, clarity and long-term planning. Every new guideline, verification requirement or procedural form reflects an economy refining itself itself strengthening its internal systems and aligning more closely with global expectations. Such developments reduce ambiguity and enhance the trustworthiness of financial interactions, which is especially important in a world where stability is valued over hype. When institutions take the time to document processes, enforce compliance, maintain transparent communication, and prioritize accountability, it illustrates a commitment to sustainable growth. This benefits not only the country implementing the reforms but also international investors, trade partners, and everyday currency holders seeking predictability and security. A structured system with traceable transactions, legal protections, and consistent oversight creates an environment where confidence naturally increases for individuals observing Vietnam's progress. The message is clear: the foundation being built is well organized and oriented toward longevity. Stability becomes the reward, and confidence becomes the outcome of a financial ecosystem that is maturing with intention and purpose. For many individuals who have held on to their currency for an extended period, patience has been a defining characteristic of the journey. But there comes a moment when patience must evolve into preparation, and that moment is now. Rather than simply waiting for updates or relying on speculation from unofficial channels, this is the ideal time to shift into a more proactive and informed mindset. Preparation begins with organization: gathering your documents, sorting receipts, locating proof of purchase, reviewing identification records, and securing any paperwork that might be required for future verification. These small steps taken now can save time and stress later when official instructions, schedules, or procedural updates are released. Understanding how the system works, how verification is conducted, why compliance is essential, and what institutions expect helps you approach the process with clarity instead of uncertainty. By staying ahead of the curve, you position yourself to act efficiently and responsibly when the time comes. Opportunity tends to favor individuals who remain calm, informed, and organized rather than those who react impulsively at the last moment. Transitioning from passive waiting to intentional preparation is not just a tactical shift, it is a mindset change that aligns with the new era of structured, transparent financial procedures emerging globally. There is a meaningful distinction between hoping for a favorable outcome and preparing strategically for one, and the financial world consistently rewards the latter. Hope may provide motivation, but strategy creates results. The appearance of these updated exchange guidelines serves as a reminder that progress is unfolding within formal regulated channels, not through speculation, rumors, or shortcuts. These guidelines offer a blueprint that highlights what is required for legitimate participation: verification of ownership, compliance with legal expectations, adherence to documented procedures, and patience. As systems continue to strengthen, the message is clear: participation must be grounded in responsibility rather than wishful thinking. The financial landscape operates on structure, documentation, regulation, and timing. Individuals who actively educate themselves, track official announcements, and maintain a disciplined approach place themselves in a far stronger position than those who rely solely on anticipation. This feat from hope to strategy means recognizing that sustainable outcomes arise from knowledge, preparedness, and compliance. No responsible financial institution will move hastily or entertain unverified claims, and the most successful participants will be those who align their actions with established processes. By approaching each development with awareness rather than emotion, you begin to transform your expectations into informed strategy, ensuring that you are ready for any official opportunity when it becomes available. The deeper message behind these developments reaches far beyond currency exchanges. It reflects the transformation of an entire financial ecosystem. When a nation undertakes the task of strengthening its financial systems, enhancing regulatory clarity, and improving institutional transparency, the benefits ripple outward across multiple sectors. Citizens gain access to more reliable financial services, investors experience higher levels of trust and predictability, and international partners view the country as a more stable and attractive destination for trade, business, and collaborative development. Vietnam's commitment to modernizing its financial governance demonstrates its understanding that transparency and accountability are foundational to economic progress. Clear guidelines, documentation standards, and compliance protocols are not obstacles, they are stepping stones toward greater economic integration and long-term opportunity for educators, content creators, and those who study global Finance This Moment provides an ideal case study in how meaningful reform begins not with sudden announcements or speculative excitement but with measured improvements in structure and oversight. The lesson is that discipline and documentation build the foundation on which future growth can occur. By watching Vietnam refine its systems, observers gain insight into how responsible governance creates space for innovation, trade expansion, and sustainable development. This is not only a financial story but an example of how nations evolve, how economies mature, and how long-term success is constructed through intentional, transparent, and consistent effort. For every individual who has held on to Vietnamese Dong through months or even years of uncertainty, this moment represents a shift in mindset and a reaffirmation of purpose. You have waded through countless discussions, sifted through information from different sources, and stayed committed even when the landscape seemed unclear. You have taken the time to learn, to research, and to follow developments closely. Now the focus turns towards something far more important than waiting: preparation and professionalism. The new guidelines emerging from Vietnam's evolving financial framework are not barriers, they are safeguards designed to ensure that legitimate holders can participate within a verified, secure, and transparent system. These protections exist so that every transaction is conducted responsibly, every note is authenticated, and every participant operates on equal footing within established rules. In a world where financial misinformation and speculation often spread faster than facts, the key is staying grounded. Do not let noise or rumors distract you from the real direction of progress. Stay informed by following credible sources, understand the evolving processes, and maintain your documentation with care. Keep your focus on the long-term picture rather than short-term chatter. The next phase of development within Vietnam's financial structure is likely to benefit those who approach it with readiness, clarity, and professionalism, not those who chase rumors or rush ahead without preparation. By staying organized and aware, you position yourself to move confidently and responsibly when official processes advance. The financial world is steadily shifting toward an era defined by clarity, transparency, and structural integrity, and the newest Vietnamese Dong exchange guidelines are a reflection of that movement. Rather than feeding speculation or making bold promises, these guidelines offer something far more valuable: a clear roadmap for responsible participation within a regulated system. They reinforce principles that serious financial environments are built upon: fairness, documentation, compliance, verification, and transparency. This shift is not about dramatic announcements or sudden changes. It is about laying a reliable foundation that supports long-term stability and predictable outcomes for holders of the Vietnamese Dong, as well as those who study financial systems or create educational content. This moment highlights an essential truth: sustainable opportunities emerge when individuals embrace structure rather than shortcuts. Clarity empowers people to act wisely, plan strategically, and avoid the pitfalls of rumor-driven decisions. It demonstrates that well-organized systems provide greater protection and fairness for everyone involved. As Vietnam continues modernizing and aligning its financial practices with global standards, it sends a clear message that legitimacy and accountability are priorities for you, the holder or learner. The lesson is simple yet powerful: preparation, patience, and trust in proper procedures will always outperform haste or speculation. Keep learning, stay alert, and continue building your strategy based on reliable information and responsible planning. The future belongs to those who approach opportunity with wisdom, discipline, and a long-term perspective. Disclaimer: the information provided in this content is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing presented here constitutes financial advice, investment guidance, legal recommendations, or guarantees of future economic outcomes. Currency exchange processes, regulations, and financial policies can vary by region and may change over time. Individuals should always verify procedures through official government or banking channels and consult qualified financial or legal professionals before making decisions related to currency holdings or exchanges. This material does not endorse, predict, or imply the occurrence of any special exchange events. Readers and viewers are responsible for conducting their own research and acting according to legitimate, verified information sources.